My 48-year-old female, pregnant daughter, 25 years old, and her husband are moving back to our city because of a job offer for my son-in-law. They asked us to move in with us for a year or so because they couldn't find an affordable house immediately. They will eventually buy a house here. I am thrilled that she is coming back. Not only because I missed having her close to me, but also because of the help I can provide for her when the baby is born. However, there is a big problem. We have 3 bedrooms. My husband and I have the master bedroom, and our son, 16 years old, has the second largest one. These 2 rooms are really large. The third room is not small per se, but in comparison to the other 2, it is too small for 2 people. And a baby. My son had the smallest room until his sister moved out 2 years ago. He was very happy with his new room. I know that it is kind of mean to ask him to move back into the smaller room, and his father and I are willing to compensate him. His dad offered him a new gaming PC, and when that didn't convince him, he said he can have a new phone of his choosing on top of that. But my son is adamant about staying in his room. He even called his pregnant sister to tell her to F*** off and stay where she is. She was very upset after his phone call and cried when she told me. She also said son-in-law has second thoughts about moving in with us after my son's tirade. Today I told him to start moving his stuff into his old room and informed him that we ordered an iPhone 15 Pro for him and that his dad will buy him any PC he chooses. He was furious and accused me of playing favorites. I tried to explain to him that the circumstances demand this and that his sister's needs have priority over his wants, but he refused to listen. He stormed out of the house a few hours ago and won't answer my calls. My husband thinks I went too far and was an AH for telling our boy that his sister's needs are more important. Am I the AH here? I get that he is angry, but his sister needs her family, including him right now, and that is more important than having the larger room. Edit. Son-in-law is my son-in-law. There is no third person involved. Edit 2. My daughter never was a golden child. She was always there for her brother and cared for him, and I love and treat my kids equally. She got the bigger room because she had many more clothes and needed a bigger closet. He spends most of his money on tech stuff. That is far more expensive than whatever we gave her for clothes before you get ideas. I didn't offer my room because this room is shared by 2 people. He is 1. 2 people need more space than 1 person. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. I was very split. This is one of those life just isn't fair circumstances. Until that last line. His sister needs her family right now. Why? She is 25, she is married, she is having a baby, and only relocating for a job. She isn't going through some harrowing experience, she is making life choices. This one brings her closer to you, and it's pretty clear that is the only thing you are thinking about. The baby. My daughter is back. I'm a grandma. Son is over here like, okay, good to know. They are only moving back in for a year. They can survive in a smaller room. Sure, it is more convenient for them to have a larger room, but it is remarkably inconvenient to move your son back and for 3 times in 3 years into the larger room when she left, back to the smaller room, then back again when, if they leave in a year. She doesn't have needs either. She also has wants. They don't need to move in. They want to do so to save money. Great. But a bigger room for them isn't a need either. And then, of course, you are just beside yourself that your son would yell at a pregnant woman. Just by reading closely, you are pretty transparent here. My guess is, while you welcome your daughter back into the nest, you are not going to have your son around much in the future. Comment 2. You're the idiot. For his entire life, the son had a significantly smaller room. Why? The oldest sibling got the larger room. Okay, fair enough. But not only did she have it growing up, she had it until she was 23. Why not let him have had it when she was 18/19? Now 2 years later, she wants to move back, and you want to give her the bigger room. Look, I get it. It makes more sense logistically. But she already had the room for years while your son had the smaller room. You said the room isn't that small. You should be able to make it work. I am thrilled that she is coming back, not only because I missed having her close to me, but also because of the help I can provide for her when the baby is born. So why don't you and your husband give up your room for your son? Why should your 16-year-old son have to suffer? Comment 3. You're the idiot. You've shown your son for all of his life who the golden child is, and it's not him. He finally gets the chance to enjoy a perk, the larger room, and you yank it away from him because your golden child is coming back home. And then you can't understand why he isn't happy with your pathetic bribes. Try making him feel special for once, instead of trying to buy his compliance. Why don't you and your husband move to the smaller room and give your daughter and son-in-law your room? After all, it's only for a year. Surely that is a sacrifice you should be willing to make. After all, shouldn't your golden child's needs take priority over your wants? Now for the next story. I am a 29-year-old female who used to be in a relationship with a guy a few years ago. He was everything to me. Words cannot describe how much I loved him. We are Asians and love marriages are not that common in my country, but we were determined to make it possible. It was a really toxic affair because he used to make me do all his work and fulfill all his needs. Basically, I was performing all the wifely duties without being an actual wife. He dumped me 3 years ago because his parents found a potential bride for him and he could not let them down. I was shaken. He was from a rich family, and I come from a humble background, but I never ever took a single penny from him or asked for any expensive things. Once, during our final year of college, we both needed better laptops due to assignments and projects, but my parents weren't able to afford them at that time, but his father gifted him a more expensive one. I was upset, and let me be very clear, I was not jealous of him. I was just upset that we couldn't do anything about my laptop. But instead of supporting me, he said, "Girls are liabilities, boys are assets, and of course your parents won't invest in a liability." We had a huge argument after this because I am a single child and I know my parents love me. Fast forward to now. He is divorced and has a 1-year-old daughter with his now ex-wife. I, on the other hand, am thriving in my career and have no plans on getting married. After 3 months of him begging me, my friends, and coming to my city, I agreed to meet him. He was hoping to reconcile, but I flat out told him to just leave me. And anyway, he has a liability to take care of now, in a sarcastic way. He got confused, so I reminded him about that incident. He got upset is an understatement, and he cursed me out in public. I got scared and left without even arguing. I have nothing against his child, but I think I did something absolutely wrong. It was not intended and happened in the heat of the moment. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. And I was going to say otherwise, but you just repeated his words back to him. But why on earth haven't you blocked him? He begged you for 3 months? He couldn't have done that if you blocked him. Block him now. He may not try to contact you again. That may be the positive result of you angering him. But block him anyway. And tell your friends that anyone who passes a message from him will also be blocked. And that goes for anyone who keeps him updated on your life. Believe me, you don't need friends like that. Comment 2. Not the idiot. This guy may have been nice to you in the past, but he's a sexist jerk who was only nice to you in the same way you're nice to an appliance. In that you don't compromise its ability to work for you, but you still replace it when you want something better. So while calling his daughter that word might have been unnecessary, it showed him how he should feel if someone used his own words against someone he's supposed to care about. Comment 3. He's not mad about what you said. He's mad you didn't do what he wanted. He needs a nanny ASAP, and instead of agreeing to jump back into his life, you called him out. He responded by reacting so aggressively, you were afraid for your safety in public. Be grateful you dodged a bullet and never talk to that person again. Absolutely not the idiot. Now, for the next story. This whole thing started with 2 of my best friends marrying each other. The friends Chris and Zara are from different religions and cultures. Zara has Indian Muslim heritage. Me and Chris are both white English. As they are planning their wedding, I asked Zara why she's not having a big fat Indian wedding and getting married in the English way, as I was excited to go to one. Zara explained that she chose the wedding venue to be the church, as Chris grew up in the parish, and that as Muslim women couldn't marry out of the faith, she thought having a huge Indian affair was superfluous. I asked her to explain, and she said Muslim women are not allowed to marry men outside of the faith, and that she didn't want to do any pre-wedding rituals, only to have a civil ceremony. So far, so good, right? Her wedding, her choice, right? Now my issue is that my fiancé is a Tamil Muslim woman as well. Our wedding is in December. We were thinking of having a New Year's Eve wedding, and it's being done the traditional way. I asked my fiancé Z about this, as I was confused about what Zara had said. And then she told me the truth. She said that Zara isn't wrong, that Muslim women indeed cannot marry out of the faith, and that the priests don't usually legalize such a ceremony. I asked her, how are we getting married then, since we're having a traditional nikah ceremony? And then she tells me the truth. Z just says, well, you'll have to convert, but don't worry, it's just for posterity's sake. Lol, what? At this point, I'm shocked. I have been lied to and basically being led to a farce in the name of marriage? And the worst part is that Z was like, what's the big deal? Apparently, I just have to recite the religion's prayer and then I'll become Muslim in name and can marry her. She wants me to then go around pretending it never happened, unless it's in front of her family, of course. Now this caused the worst fight of our lives. I told her she's basically cheating me by doing this, not telling me beforehand. She still maintains that it's not a big deal. I ask her, why couldn't we just have a civil ceremony instead of this? Z says she didn't want to ruffle feathers in her family by doing this, that me converting for name's sake at the nikah was easier. And now I've packed up my stuff for the week and left home to live with a friend. I haven't been picking up her calls. A few strongly worded text messages were exchanged. Zara has been telling me that I should give it another chance as her family might be very strict and she might find it difficult to stand up to them, and that basically ghosting Z and flying off the handle on her was wrong. Although she does admit that lying to me wasn't very cool, I'm devastated. I don't know if I'm an idiot now, as I think I should at least have heard what Z wanted to say, and that maybe not communicating is a bad thing. But another part of me can't get over the betrayal. She completely lied to me. So Reddit, am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. She lied to you, and this is a shitty situation. Is Z a practicing Muslim, or is it just her family? It could be if she is not very religious herself, that she really thinks a lip service by changing your religion seems not like a big deal to her. Or maybe she is afraid of her family disowning her if she is not doing this by tradition. Take the time you need, and best communicate that with Z, that you need time to think about this situation. Evaluate your relationship again, if you still love this woman, or if the lie changed too much for you, and you are not able to trust her anymore. If you can answer the question with, you still love her, try to talk to her. If you think she will not be able to understand your point of view, or that you will not be able to see her point, maybe try couples therapy with some therapist you both find sympathetic. It will be hard work from here, and best would be to set all wedding planning on hold for the moment, so no more money is spent if it is not sure that you both will get married at this time or ever. Comment 2. Do not marry her. She's a liar, and more importantly, a coward in the face of her family. Are you interested in having a wife who bends to the will of your in-laws with no regard to your feelings? That's what you're in for. God help you if you have children with this woman. You'll have no say in their upbringing. You have an untrustworthy person with no integrity on your hands. Run, now. ETA, do not listen to a single soul who tells you to stay. They're not the ones who will be stuck with her and the wreckage your life will become. There's no happy ending with this woman. You'll be lucky for an ending that isn't disastrous. Comment 3, not the idiot. Z says it isn't a big deal. Then why is she hiding it and having you convert? Why doesn't she just do the civil ceremony if it isn't such a big deal? Z is also completely discounting your spiritual beliefs. If she can't stand up to her parents about the truth of her relationship, what do you think will happen in the future? You will be capitulating to all her family's demands and religious expectations. Time to run for the hills before you're married and have to go through a divorce. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.